Hey friends, happy Friday. I hope the week has been awesome as it can be. This is gonna round out the first 5 days of Hey Beetle. What's up, Alex? Hey Amanda. It's nice to see you guys joining on. So this is going to round out the first 5 days of the 7-day reset. If you've been following along, awesome. If you're just diving in today and it's your first day, welcome. Today's topic and habit that we're talking about is meditation, and I think it's such a key piece of building balance in your lifestyle and building a balanced sort of mindset and outlook on life, and giving us a key way to equip ourselves for factors that might not be foreseen. For example, what we've been going through lately in the political climate. Meditation is such a really great way to kind of balance out all these feelings and emotions that we're having. So today, I think she's here somewhere. I think I see her. Yes. Let's see. Jordan is going to join us. Jordan is a friend of mine. We used to work together a long time ago. I think all you need to do is send a request. Jordan, send a request to jump in, and then we can chat. But yeah, we used to work together a long time ago, and we worked in a crazy, insane environment in hospitality. And both of us have changed our lifestyles and our mindsets very, very drastically. And there she is. Let's see. Guys, we got you here. Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just
Sweaters
gonna
going on.
say we
Yeah.
match, and it's hilarious because we're in sunny California.
But I moved from Miami, so a little bit of cool
There you go.
weather is very exciting for me.
Yeah, I bet we get spoiled here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
cool.
So yeah, I was just kind of giving it a little intro as to how we met and how we used to be into totally different fields that we are in now. So do you want to continue your intro and say who you are and what you currently do?
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. So hi everyone who's joined so
Hmm.
far. My name's Jordan and my last name's Goitia. I figured Erika, people never know how to pronounce it, so it's a newer last name than when we knew each other.
Hmm.
So for the last 7 years, I've been actually in the wine and spirit business. I actually just moved out to California from Miami, where I was doing that, and I'm not currently in the wine and spirits business, and I'm kind of just keeping it open to see what's next for me.
Hmm.
Um, I've been on my own health and wellness journey the last several years, a deep dive, I'd say, into health and
Hmm.
wellness. So that's kind of changed my perspective and maybe what I want to do in a big way. So to dive into that,
Yeah.
actually, no, you go ahead.
No, that's okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
I was just going to take it away. I know you
Yeah.
talk about how I got into meditation, so I was going to start there.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that too. So, I think especially for people out there that aren't in health and wellness, you know, meditation can seem like a far off concept. And so I think the fact that you've been somewhat in a hospitality avenue of that industry, yet you were able to find meditation and, not veer off into a totally different industry, but yet still have amazing effects of meditation. So yeah, let's dive into that.
Yeah. And just to add on to that real quick, I would say, sometimes the hospitality industry or business industry may be the people that need meditation the most,
Hmm.
because we're so go, 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 go. And to be
Yeah.
able just to take a moment to ground yourself
Yeah.
is key. So yeah, I'll start with where I really dove into the mindfulness meditation journey for myself. So at the beginning of 2017, I was having some serious health struggles,
Hmm.
and they were kind of unidentifiable from doctors. So I was seeing doctor, was having a lot of pain, and they didn't quite understand what was going on. So at the time, you can imagine, it was very stressful. It was a long period of time of figuring out what's happening, you know, how do we treat this? So I was really inundated with negative thoughts, being stuck in the past, you know, what did I do? What could I have done? What's going to happen, the future, and was having a really hard time just being present and finding peace. I was so in my head. At that time, I was scared, you know, so that was the situation. And I was really tasked with, how do you ground yourself in these moments, despite the pain, the uncertainty, the stress, and find moments of peace and be okay with this present moment? Because that's what's happening right now, whether you like it or not, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the task. And I really threw myself into mindfulness meditation. I first had a physical therapist at the time recommend a book called Full Catastrophe Living by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Definitely recommend that book to anyone who's interested in the power of mindfulness. It's basically a mindfulness-based stress reduction program that they do use at Mayo Clinic and all of these different, you know, Western medicine facilities to help cancer patients, you know, people with some serious stuff going on. And they do an 8-week program with mindfulness to help their, not only their mental health, but their physical well-being as well. And so after seeing that, you know, it really opened my mind to the power of mindfulness and breath. So I'm like, wow, you know, if this is working for people with stage 4 cancer and really helping them and helping their symptoms, helping their pain, helping their clarity, I dove in further. So I got certified in transcendental meditation, which you have to do a program to fully understand how to do that.
That's intense, isn't it? It's a long one.
It is intense, yeah. And it's 2 times a day for 20 minutes, and you just have a mantra that you go over and over again. And of course, I downloaded all the apps. You know, for me, Headspace was kind of my go-to, as I know you know. And I just really started doing short meditations every day. And honestly, at that time, I was so stressed out. It was really hard to meditate. I know a lot of people can relate to that. I've heard that from people. Like, I can't just sit with my thoughts. But I did a little bit each day and just kept at it. And I really did start to see results. It was just being more aware of my thoughts and being able to just let thoughts come and go, as opposed to getting so wrapped up in each thought. And not only that, but I really just, my nervous system just started to settle, and my sleep improved, and my focus and my digestion issues, like everything that was going on, my physical health improved, you know? So I was like, this is powerful. So then I just kept going on the journey. Luckily, you know, just to update you, a lot of the issues that were happening at that time, I'm okay now, you know, but at the time it was really, really hard.
Anytime there's anything that has to do with pain, it literally sidelines your brain. Like, it's like a Mack truck that comes in, and you just can't focus on anything other than the fact that you're in pain. And that, you know, that is the situation, and it seems at the time that there's nothing you can do about it. So I totally understand. I haven't had chronic issues like what you described you had for a long period of time, but I've, throughout this past year, dealt with some physical injuries, and whatever the capacity of you know, your pain, it inhibits what you used to be able to do, right? So it changes what you've identified as being your person and your being. And so I really understand what you're saying about not being able to be present, because your mind it's like it's hijacked.
You know, 100%. You can't focus on anything else. You're like, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain. What's going to happen? And for me, I think one of the strongest things I learned is that pain is a trigger for anxiety and stress for me. So now, you know, a lot of those have resolved, but I did get foot surgery this year, and I did just re-sprain it a week ago, which is really fun. So,
I'm so sorry.
I'm dealing with that pain, but just being aware of the fact that pain triggers the stress, and to come back quicker. I think the more now that I understand breath and meditation, I can just do some breath work to just bring me back quicker. And
Yeah.
actually, that if I could go on about that for a minute, I think the biggest takeaway for me and anyone watching is not only meditation. Yes, can 10 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes, 3 minutes every day over time has so many benefits, but also mindful living as a whole, throughout the day. And that for me are those moments when I get really stressed or if I'm in a lot of pain. And because when that happens for us at the core, our nervous system has two states. We have the parasympathetic, which is our rest and digest, and then the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight. So as soon as we have pain or we're stressed about something or, watching the news the other day, your heart rate goes up, you're shallow breathing, and your inhalation is longer than your exhalation, and you go into that fight or flight. So the quicker you can tell your body, I'm okay, we don't need to go there, it's going to re-put your body back into that rest and digest where we want to be most of the time. So
You brought up shallow breathing because it's something that we don't even realize we're doing.
yes, exactly.
Anytime there's any sort of stress, whether it's work stress, family stress, physical pain, or whatever is not your homeostasis, we literally will hold on to your breath, or
Yeah.
we'll just, yeah, or we'll shallow breathe if you thought about your capacity and your lung capacity, you're probably using about 25% of it because
Right.
you're really not expanding,
Yeah.
using the diaphragm. And I've found through my own, I guess because I'm more close to that field of anatomy, but looking at how it works was a real good trigger too. So if you haven't looked at how it works when you breathe, because it's that thing that just happens without us doing it, right? It just happens. We
Exactly.
breathe. But if you look at how that actually happens, it was if you're a visual learner, it
Me.
was a
Yeah.
great way to kind of see, oh, okay, this expands, this goes up, this goes down. And you can kind of think of that too. When you catch yourself shallow breathing, you can, visualize where you could be, where you could expand to.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think the quicker we just are aware of, oh my gosh, I am shallow breathing, I am stressed. Like the quicker you can acknowledge, I'm really stressed right now,
Yeah.
because I think that's when, if you don't, you let those thoughts, we get caught up in them and you get even more stressed for a longer period of time. But the
Yeah,
quicker
absolutely.
you can become aware, what I do as soon as I become aware is I breathe in for 4 seconds into my nose and I breathe out twice as long for 8 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason I do that, and I started mentioning it, when we are doing that shallow breathing, our inhalation is longer than our exhalation, and that stimulates that fight or flight. So
Yeah.
again, if you switch it and you exhale twice as long, it just tells your body to calm down. So
Yeah.
even just like 3 simple breaths for me just get me back to like, okay, I'm fine, and you
Right.
come back quicker than, letting that stress take you on a ride for the next hour, the full day, you come back quick. Or however long.
It is a ride, isn't it? You're like, where did I just go with that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to go back to how you said when you started, the biggest thing that helped you was being consistent. And I think that, that is a huge obstacle for people. They think that, okay, great, I meditated 2 days in a row, and then I effed up and I forgot on the third day and I didn't squeeze it in, and now the world is over.
Yeah.
And, and it's okay to do that because it's just, I kind of think of it as stretches or runs, and you
Yeah.
just try again. And maybe your next run is 3 days and then you forget again, and that's okay. And you just
Yeah.
try for another run. But you also mentioned only staying for 5 or 10 minutes and how powerful that is. I completely agree because I think people, and I know even me, when I first started, I didn't think there was much value in sitting if it was just for 5 minutes.
Right.
So,
And you don't realize how that carries you through the day, just that 5 minutes, because you put
yeah.
yourself in that state.
So how did you experience your first, 5 minutes and that difficulty? What are some things that maybe kept you coming back for 5 minutes again?
Well, a couple things. As I mentioned, yeah, when I was at the height of my stress with everything, it was so hard to meditate because,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kept doing it. I knew that even if I didn't have this like because sometimes, you know, when you meditate, you end, you're like, oh, I felt like that felt great. Like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
ever feel like that then,
Yeah.
but I knew it was still making a difference. And
Mm-hmm.
over time, I had a better experience in meditating. So I guess what kept me going was knowing that it was still actually having an effect, even if you don't feel like you're having this Zen moment, if that makes sense. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are like, oh, I'm not good at it. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
still really getting benefits from it and just keep doing it. And it gets better too. Like you
Mm-hmm.
get to that point where you're like, oh, that was great, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then another thing is, yeah, don't beat yourself up for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Because I definitely, in the beginning, when I needed it the most, I was really consistent. But, you know, as I mentioned, I've been in the wine and spirits business the last 7 years. I've definitely had some crazy weeks where I was not consistent, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I'm like, oh, I did not meditate as much as I should have this week. But you,
Yeah.
like you said, you just get back on. It's a practice. It's your meditation practice. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect. You know, none of us are monks. We're just trying to, well, some people, Andy Costa.
Yeah, maybe
um,
maybe you are.
yeah. But just to know that it's a practice and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the second thing I'll say is, or third, whatever, if you're not doing great with even this the few minutes, just start with the breathing techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Because even just like I mentioned, when I feel stressed, I just do a few of those breaths and I feel the effects immediately. So I think
Mm-hmm.
once you start to get like a little piece of that, like feeling the effects, is
Mm-hmm.
when you want more. Almost like when
Yeah.
you start losing weight or something. You're like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
see the effects, and now I want to keep being healthy. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, these breathing techniques really, I feel calm, I feel great. I want to
Mm-hmm.
keep doing that. So keep being curious, keep practicing, and keep trying what works for you. You know, I
Yes.
know you and I briefly talked about that because guided meditation is what I love. I didn't really love transcendental meditation for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but some people swear by it. So
Yeah.
find what works for you and do that and know that it's a practice and you're not perfect.
Yes. Yeah. I totally agree. I think that the part that is really cool about anyone's journey is that it is a little bit of a trial and error. And
Mm-hmm.
when you first look at that, it sounds like a lot of work. It's like, oh, but I don't want to go through all that. I just want to know.
Right.
It's like what's the pill? You know, just same thing with losing weight. What's the pill that's going to fix it?
Yeah.
And truth is, there is no pill. There never will be a pill, but you can flip the script a little and look at it as a journey that you keep trying different things.
Right.
I love guided meditation too. I've been dabbling a little more with visualization as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think that the apps help. So I've used Headspace. I forget the name of the main guy. I know Whit's on here. Whitney, what is the name of the main guy that speaks on Headspace? I don't remember. But his voice is,
Andy, try to come. Sorry, my
yes.
thing paused. Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Andy.
okay. You jumped in right at the time I needed you.
Yeah. His voice is what it's so
Hmm.
soothing.
Yeah, yeah. So find someone that you resonate with, you know. If you're sitting there being irritated by someone's isms or their voice or something that's just counterintuitive. But
Yeah.
but knowing that, yeah, it is a process and people call it a journey for a reason because you literally are opening different layers of yourself as you go. And maybe sitting still is difficult for you. But the benefit, even of just not moving the body and having
Exactly.
the stillness in that space, is still going to resonate. It's going to build.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you said, you're still getting the benefits. It's going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of take this windy, twisty journey as to whether you want to try transcendental meditation. Maybe you do in yoga, we do pranayama. So that's basically breath work.
Yeah.
And there's so many different styles of pranayama. Some of them are more heating and intensive, and some of them are more cooling. So depending on what you're looking for, do some research, ask questions,
100%. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just kind of, dive into different areas, and you'll find ones stick better and others don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. So
but
you
yeah.
you take what sticks and you
Hmm.
forget the rest. You know,
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
we we mentioned also, there are so many things out there, so you can
Hmm.
get very overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
get discouraged if one thing doesn't work for you. Like
Hmm.
there's so many things that you can do that are focusing on your breath or meditating or whatever it is that you find that are creating these benefits. So if one thing
Yeah.
doesn't work, don't give up, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree. So you tried TM, you do apps, or you've used Headspace now.
Mhm.
And then the breathing that you recommended, where your exhalation is a little bit longer, do you have any other breath techniques that you like to kind of have as a go-to?
Yeah, a couple that I do circular breathing as well,
Hmm.
which for those who don't know, maybe you breathe in for 6, hold for 6, exhale for 6, and then hold it at the end as well. And it's
Hmm.
just, or box breathing, whichever way you
Yeah.
want to call it. That's very helpful. And then nostril breathing as well, which looks
Hmm.
funny.
Yeah.
And so you kind of,
Hmm.
and
Right.
again, if you're just having that stressful moment, it just takes you down.
Hmm.
And I like what you said, pranayama breathing. Again, there's all these different techniques. So search pranayama breathing, and,
Hmm.
and at the most simplistic explanation of it is, and I know, as a yoga teacher, prana is our life force. That's what it
Yeah.
means. And then yama is controlling that. So when you're doing these breathing techniques, you're controlling your breath and you're giving yourself, more of life force,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are two go-to: box breathing, nostril breathing, and there's so many. So Google it. Just start watching, and if you think some seem stupid, then pass on that one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And some things will seem stupid to you.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's totally all right. That it might be like, a recommendation from your best friend or something like that. Like, oh, you should try out this teacher, or you should try out this method or this meditation that I listened to, and it may totally not be your jam, and that
Right.
is okay.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly.
There was one thing I picked up on when you were saying, when you were describing pranayama and the meaning of it, and how it was a good reminder that yama is the resistance, or the control of it, sorry, controlling the breath. So that element of control does sometimes bring up some resistance. So I just want to, make it known for anyone out there that's trying breath work, and when you first start, if you feel some anxiety or some resistance to it, that is okay. It just might mean that maybe you don't hold for as long, you know.
Right.
Um, think the recommendation thing for box breathing, but that most people is all the way out there is like 4 counts. If that's too long for you and you feel like it's just not working, or maybe you're getting a little lightheaded even, take it down to a 3 count.
Right.
And you'll find with continued practice that the lung capacity and your breath capacity grows. So,
Mm-hmm.
you may soon work up to a count of 4, but everything is so personal.
Right.
You know, when you're meditating, it's what is going on in this little space here, or I should say big space, because
Yeah.
it's very spacious. There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
But it is so different for everyone. What's
Absolutely.
going on in your head is totally different and weird and wonderful, and in comparison to mine, it's a whole different world. Um,
Absolutely. And one
yes.
thing you said that I uh, related to is, the more you do it, and over time, you do get more control of your breath or understand it more. So like when I do just the cleansing breath that I normally do, and I breathe in, you want to fill your belly up. And
Hmm.
at first, I heard people saying like, "Oh, fill it all the way up down to your pelvic floor." And at first, I'm like, "What?" But the
Hmm.
more I do it now, when I breathe in, I can feel the breath filling up like my whole body all the way down to my pelvic floor, and then
Hmm.
slowly releasing. But
Yeah.
that wasn't something at first that I quite understood or had control of. So the more you do it, it's the more fun it is, because you
Yes.
really just can like control your body and calm yourself down with breath and all these things that are pretty powerful.
I love that you mentioned fun, because meditation has this like connotation of being so serious It's like, oh, you sit and you're super zen and you're on, you're on a perfect pillow in this most beautiful surrounding, whether you're in a room or maybe you're out on like some mountain peak.
Right.
And that's just not how it goes.
No. Yeah. Find
You
a
know.
comfortable spot in your house and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and make it something that is fun. It's literally a chance to go inside into your world and have some fun in there because what you're doing when you meditate is you're kind of clearing out the junk. And that's if you've ever done that to your closet or you've ever done that
Yeah.
to your house, it's actually a cathartic thing. It's very fun in a way that when you find your end result, it's like, wow, I did that. It's clean.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it
Can
doesn't
I
have to
make a
be
fun
so serious.
metaphor real quick? So that just when
Yeah.
you said cleaning out your closet, the other
Uh-huh.
day I was cleaning out my phone. I don't know if anyone does this when their storage is like full.
Yes.
So I looked and I had notes in there from 2013. And I'm like, I don't need all these notes. So
Was
I
it a
went through
grocery
and I have
shopping list?
like a few notes now. And I was like, this feels almost like meditating, because I
Yeah.
like cleared all that junk out and now I can only see the notes I need. I'm like, and I just thought that was kind of like a metaphor for meditating in our brains.
Hmm.
And, I think when I told you what really brought me into meditating when I was really stressed, when you have all those thoughts and you
Hmm.
start to believe all your thoughts are facts and you
Hmm.
believe them, that's
Yes.
why when you clear out all that mess, you're like, I don't need that thought. I don't need that thought. That is not true,
Yep.
and so you just take what you need, so
Yep.
that's why you get so clear because you're like,
Hmm.
these are my thoughts. This is what's real. This is accurate because all that
Yeah.
other stuff is leaving you.
Oh, it's just garbage. Just
Yeah.
get rid
Yeah.
of it.
Monkey monster.
I just saw Beatles says she's guilty of meditating with drums. I love that. Yeah, meditate to the sound of music. I don't know how I forgot to mention music. There's a really powerful tool if you're having difficulty sitting still.
Mhm.
Having, some soundtrack in the background or drums. Drums have a beautiful rhythmic sort of, it's like a lullaby.
Yeah.
So you do that. And then there was another comment, I think where we missed, Whitney asked if I think she was asking both of us, but New Year's intentions, if you had any. Do you have any
Um,
that want to share?
I do. Yeah. I definitely, have like a few small changes that I want to do each day, but um, I was sharing with some of my friends the other day that lately I keep seeing, your word of the year. I don't know if
Mm.
you've seen that. So
Hmm.
I made my word of the year this year is strengthen.
Mm.
So for me, I have a lot of physical strength that I need to work on to feel the best that I can. So
Hmm.
every day, all the decisions and choices I make kind of lead back to that, just eating healthy,
Hmm.
getting on my mat, sleeping well so that I can really focus on strengthening myself.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
great.
it's kind of a clear way to have just one word that you really want to focus on for the year and having all your decisions align with that intention.
That's awesome. Wit, I'm gonna stall right now because I don't know my word, but I would like everyone, everyone that's listening to write their word. If you've got a word, share it with us right now. Ready, set, go.
Yeah.
Because I'm buying time.
Can I say
But
something I
I'll
thought
come
of
up with
too? We talked about mindful living and all of that, and it's really
it.
what meditation can help with is being grounded and mindful day to day, moment to moment, right? So what I love about like the Headspace app and some of these other apps is that they have, mindful eating
Hmm.
or, walking while meditating. So
Yeah.
for the people that maybe don't want to sit or
Hmm.
aren't wanting to do that yet,
Hmm.
take a walk and meditate as you walk.
Yes.
As you're cooking, there's some that, so you can turn anything into meditation and just
Yeah.
focus on your breath and calm
Yeah.
your, so I just like that thought process too, that it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be just sitting still and not doing anything, which is great. I
Yeah.
definitely understand that, but also trying other things throughout your day as you're
Yeah.
focusing on your breath.
For sure. Yeah, let's remove the barriers is really what I say when it comes to anything that has to do with wellness and health. Remove the barriers. Like it doesn't have to be a perfect space. It's nice if you can kind of carve out a little nook that inspires you to
Yeah.
meditate in your home. And you can have that when you have the time and you have
accessibility to it. But you can literally go for a walk, meditate. You can meditate in a park. You can meditate in your car in between errands or something. You know, if you've got snatch 5 minutes of your time, you can do it
Do you have
anywhere.
a time of the day that works best for you to meditate?
I actually like to do it first thing in the morning.
Mm.
And then when I'm taking breaks throughout the day, I'll force a little sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think first thing in the morning, it's just for me too, I am a very physical person, always have been, but I haven't always been aware that I am. And so now that I am, I realize I need to move
Mhm.
prior to sitting. So when I say first thing, it's actually after I do a little warm up stretch move and I do some dynamic movements on my mat. It's not a yoga flow. It's not a workout. It's a wake the heck up
Yeah.
body,
Right.
little
Yeah. Just
movements.
get your muscles going and yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm able to sit. But my body, I've tried it. And sit, and that goes back to your journey, right?
Exactly.
Of
Yeah.
figuring out what works for you. But yeah, I've tried it where I sit and I the restlessness is too much in there and that's kind of the heightened energy of the body. And
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit of movement and breathing to get out. And then I sit and I'll do my practice in the morning.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'm joined by the family cat. He'll
Yeah.
come and sit on my lap. And sometimes not. And so, I actually appreciate having a little bit of distraction around because it simulates real life. You're not always going to have perfect, still, quiet and when there's animals moving around or roommates coming down or whatever, it's just kind of a reminder to always bring yourself back to this home, which is
Right.
right
Yeah.
here, and you
Exactly.
carry that
That's their
with you. It's
life.
like home base, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have stalled long enough with my word.
Okay.
And I think my word, I'm sure of it, is fearless. So going into 2021 fearless, I saw some really great ones. Oh, my mom just popped
Yeah,
on.
I saw
Hi, mom.
tenacity, which I
I
liked
saw
as well.
tenacity. Yep. Abundance. I saw Mo. Great, great words. Um, but I want to be mindful of your time. And I know that
Has it been 30 minutes already?
I think it has. Oh, we have
Wow. Okay.
3 minutes over, but if everybody is still with us and willing, I would love if you could lead in a little meditation and we can sign off with that if
Sure,
you're
sure.
down. And so yeah, and if anyone that's listening, if you're in your car, this is the perfect time to practice doing meditation outside of the realm.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to do it right now, if you're driving, please don't do this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you're not able to do it right now, we're going to save this replay and you can just kind of fast forward to the end and do it with us all
Yeah.
over again.
I'd like to start just with a few cleansing breaths that I know I keep talking about. So we'll
Yeah.
do three of those breaths, and again, you want your belly to fill up all the way down to your pelvic floor, and then slowly let it all go. So find a comfortable position. If you, for breathing, I like to put one hand on my tummy and one hand here. So we're going to breathe in for 5 or 4 seconds, whatever you can do. So breathe in, 1. And let it all go for 8. Breathe in the nose for 4. And out the mouth for 8. One more, in for 4. Slowly out for 8. Okay, now we should start to feel our energy start to just calm a little bit. I know we've had high energy going back and forth, chatting. So everyone find a comfortable position. Gently start to close your eyes. Sometimes counting helps in the beginning just to get that breath going. So you're going to count in for 4, out for 4, this time just through the nostrils. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4. Just take a moment, settle into that breath. I'll check in on you in just a moment. Start to notice the sounds around you. Maybe birds outside, traffic. Just let the noises come and go. Just bring your awareness to the sound. Now start to bring your awareness closer to your body. More particular, your skin. Feel how your clothes fall off your body. Just become aware of that. Maybe your hands are on your lap. Just notice it. Now start to bring your attention even closer and notice your breath. You're not judging your breath, just noticing it. Breathing in and out. And feel the breath come up through the nostrils and back out. Maybe the air is a little cold. Just notice. And just the way we've observed sound, our skin, our breath, I want you to observe your thoughts. Just notice them. Just be aware that they're there. Let them come, let them go. Like clouds moving in the sky. Just let them go. They're just thoughts. That's all they are. And whenever you're ready, slowly begin to come back into the space. Come back into your body. Slowly move your fingers, your toes, and just flutter your eyes open whenever you're ready. Take your time. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so fun.
It really was. I feel very, very calm. You have a very calming voice, and it's so, what do you call it? Hypnotic.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Good.
thank you everyone that popped on and joined us. If you have any questions, let us know. I'm speaking for Jordan, but you can ask either of us. Hopefully
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stick with us for the 7-day challenge. We've got 2 days left, so jump in anytime. Namaste, Mo. So good to see you here. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate you, Jordan. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and for sharing, I would say, a wealth of knowledge and a great reminders of how to overcome obstacles of getting the sit done.
Yes, absolutely. Do what works
Yeah,
for you. Yeah.
yes. Awesome. We'll have a beautiful weekend, and I hope to chat soon.
Yes. Thanks, Erica. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.